right, y'all. Welcome back to Tennessee Tuesdays.
Episode 15.
Quince, if you're keeping track in Spanish. Still no tequila yet, but we're getting very close because today is the last day of 75 Hard Phase 2.
Next Tuesday.
I'm not going to go into that, y'all. I'm not going to bore you with it.
But you only get a 2-week time span.
Yeah, so we'll have a little break. Have a little tequila, which will be nice, and then we'll get back to 75 Hard Phase 3. So
just for 30 days, though.
Yeah. You want more info? Follow me on Instagram and figure that stuff out. But today, we thought we would talk about beating the heat in Tennessee because it's hot.
I'm sure it's hot everywhere. It's just not hot
here. Did you see, England, how hot it was in England?
No, I heard you say something about that.
England doesn't get, hot temps like that, and it's literally, the hottest place in Earth right now, which is crazy.
I hope they have some air conditioners over there.
I don't think they do. I don't think they normally don't get heat like this.
Somewhere's got to have air conditioning so they could, go to a cooling center.
I would hope so. I know they've got a lot of issues, but I know Texas and Midwest is hot, and it's going to come our way.
California's hot.
Come this weekend. So we figured it'd be good to just hit on our 5 ways to beat the heat in Tennessee. These are all things that we've done, we have experience with, and we like, and these are all family things, and we've taken friends on and done all that with. So
most everything we do is family-oriented.
Most of it. It's hard to get away from your kids. You try, but...
even if we don't have our kids, I feel like we do family-oriented things without them.
Yeah, it's all, it has that tone, yeah. It definitely has the theme that a family could do that, so... but yeah, beating the heat, I think... so our first ones, which are great, are the quarries. There's quarries all over around.
Quarries everywhere.
Your biggest ones are Dickerson and Meads Quarry. So Dickerson is an old Civil War era fort that's up on top of this knob, and it overlooks the skyline of Knoxville and City. And there's this quarry down below. It's just amazing greenish blue water, just the prettiest thing. But you can go swim, you can paddleboard, you can tube, you can take tubes and float, you can kayak, you could...
They do have a small beach area, so you could take chairs. You could take an ice chest if you wanted to.
It's good for kids. They can wade in there and stuff and swim. No motorized stuff. But it's a deep quarry, too. It's 350 feet.
Don't know how to swim, I suggest taking a life jacket. Or maybe just not going.
And stay at the edge, because it does get deep.
And there are no lifeguards. So you have to be aware of your children swimming.
Which, we were talking about that the other day. It's crazy that parents don't teach kids how to swim right off the bat because it's just, I don't know. That's personal opinion. But so it's gorgeous area. We paddleboard around the whole thing. You get up to these big walls at the other end. It's gorgeous. This is right there, hidden in Knoxville too. So you got that one, and you got Meads. Meads Quarry is over by Iams Nature Center, which is a whole place to talk about in itself. That's a really cool spot. But the only thing is over there at Meads, you have to rent the paddle boards. You have to rent the kayak. You cannot bring your own personal stuff. They do have a swim beach, which you can swim at, but you cannot take your own stuff. But it's a pretty good size one. We haven't been on that one. We were only there for the Sunflower Festival.
And do they have a lifeguard at that one, or no?
No lifeguards there either. So it's kind of swim at your own risk type stuff.
Do they have a little beach, did it say?
They had that swim area. There's a little swim area.
Remember.
I don't think there's a beach area. I imagine there's got to be little spots where you can hang out and chill.
And walk in.
Yeah, and walk in.
I can't remember exactly what that one looked like for some reason.
We had only been over there the one time when we went to the Sunflower Fest. But Iams would be a good one to review too, because that's a huge nature center with tons of stuff to do. Very family oriented.
That one, the Sunflower Festival down there was beautiful.
Yeah. So that's definitely a fun one to do. Check out the quarries. If you want to do that for something different, you can check out quarries.
The next would be rivers and lakes. We have the Tennessee River. We have Watts Bar, which is a beautiful lake. Norris, we finally checked out Norris last 2 weekends ago, I think. That one's beautiful. You can paddleboard, tons of boating.
Huge.
We didn't check out the whole lake because it's really big. It has over 800 miles of shoreline, so That's going to take you a while.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to see all that.
Tellico, which we always boat on Tellico. We love Tellico. There's tons of stuff down to do there. I mean, even like marinas to go to and I guess have lunch.
I mean, our in-laws, they're locals at Sequoia.
Sequoia does have really good food. So I will agree with my parents why they go down there so much.
Yeah, but that's a lot.
It's a far drive, though.
Launch a boat and drive down there in a boat just to go get food. That's my opinion.
But when you're down by Sequoia, there is that little fort area.
Yeah.
So you can always there's
Fort
stuff.
Loudon stuff is cool down there.
Plenty of stuff to check out. Cherokee Lake. You have Douglas. The list goes on.
It's endless.
But a lot of them do have swimming areas. They have big boat launches.
So, like, we were just noticing over at Loudon when we launched at the dam the other day with the Halcombs, there's a little swim area over to the side. Like, we didn't even recognize that, see it. And it was a good size, too.
It was a really big size. You can take jet skis, paddle boards, kayaks, you name it. And where we launch at Fort Loudon, they do have, if you didn't want to go over to the swim area, where the boats launch, they have tons of grass area you could go hang out in.
You can just go park your car and hang out in chairs and just enjoy the water. And
there's always people in the water there.
Yeah. And I mean, people, like she said, it has jet skis, boats, kayak. I mean, you name it, they're there. I mean, you go all the way down past that and you go Chilhowie. You can get really cold water in Chilhowie. Definitely shallow. Be careful taking your boats there. But paddleboarding, kayaking is fantastic.
I would suggest if you're going that way, you might want to have a jet boat.
Yeah, if you are.
Something where you can go in shallow water.
But Chilhowie is just, it reminds me of the gorge in Havasu when you would travel up to the gorge and that water is just ice cold.
It is really cold.
When the rest of the water is like a bathtub, 90 degrees. This stuff is crazy.
And your breath gets taken away.
It's
the water's
so nice.
So cold.
But yeah, the endless opportunities as far as rivers and lakes go. And that's just in our little area that we're talking about.
But on Tellico, there are silos that the kids love to jump off of.
There's rocks.
And there's rocks.
All kinds of stuff.
I mean, tons of like coves you can go park in and just float on rafts.
Now, Douglas and Cherokee we haven't explored in a boat. Cherokee, we did a polar plunge there the first year we were here. Douglas, we've only been just on the outside of it, just kind of looking in. We haven't been on the actual water.
Chilhowie, we have been up there, but we paddleboarded.
And then Norris, obviously, like she just said, we paddleboarded that. We want to take the boat back and check that out because there's so much to look at. I mean, it's a natural... Now, with Norris, there is a $20 launch fee for your boat.
That is at the...
That's at that marina where we're at. You'll see the vlog coming. But that is because it's run by the state. And so they do charge $20 to launch a boat right there. But when we go to Fort Loudon, Tellico, Chilhowie, like any of these boat launches, they're all free. It doesn't cost you.
Now, if you do go up to Sugar Hollow, which is on Norris, which is 20 minutes past where we launched, that is a free public launch. My parents have launched out of there. And that's a beautiful marina. You can rent houseboats out of that one, my mom said.
Yeah, so there are free launches up there. I'm just saying there are areas where you do have to pay. Just know that. But yeah, endless opportunities when it comes to waterways. And even if you just want to go, get in the river, just go soak in the river, go jump off a dock.
I mean, we go over to
you go right here to
to International, and we put our paddle boards in. There is a little, restaurant over there.
Windy City Grill on the water, fantastic, just for, appetizers and drinks.
It's not I wouldn't go there if you want
It's not Ruth Chris. It's not Fleming's. So
a really nice, maybe a nicer dinner. Yeah. It's bar food.
Yeah, it's someone was oh, it's mediocre food and mediocre pricing and drinks.
It's great bar food though.
It's on the water. It's in a marina. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a good time to go hang out after you've been on the water. And
I mean, some of the marinas do have outstanding food.
Yeah.
Not all of them do. They have bar food.
Yeah. But that one's great. I gotta love that one. So what else we got?
Water parks.
Water parks.
So the big ones out here would be Smoky Mountain, which we have not been to yet.
Soaky Mountain.
Oh, Soaky Mountain Water Park. We have not been to that one yet. And then Dollywood Splash Country. We have been to Dollywood Splash Country.
So last time we were at Dollywood Splash Country was a little while ago. It was before all this C-word BS because they started making you wear masks around the pool when you weren't in the water. And we're just not doing that.
I just don't know anyone that wants to go to a water park and wear a mask.
Like, we're common sense here. That's just dumb. So we never made it there. But Smoky Mountain is pretty good size. It's 50 acres. It's got like 20 some odd attractions. I mean, you're talking, straight down water slide, like dropout style. You have family tubes that you get in. You have racer lanes. You have
lazy
river, wave pool, all that kind of stuff. So it's a good spot. They do have cabanas you can rent too. They run through the end of September. I know the hours vary. They start to go weekends only at one point. Probably weather permitting too.
But if you do want to check out Smoky Mountain and you do live local in Tennessee, Costco does carry a day pass for $29.99, which is a great deal.
And the season pass is like nothing. It's like $100 or something.
If you always want to check it out and just go for the day, you can always get the pass.
We've talked about the season passes, just us, because the kids don't like water parks. Taylor kind of does. Mackenzie doesn't. We'll go. Like, I don't care. Like, no shame in my game to be an adult at a.
I mean, I still might go buy 2 day passes and just go for the day and check it out.
Still be fun. They do still serve alcohol, which I wasn't sure if that was going to change because there was an incident. There have been a couple incidents, but one primarily that involved a shooting that was kind of driven off of alcohol, and that was kind of the question mark. But they do still serve it. I looked on the internet.
But the shooting, I don't think took place in the actual park. I think it took place in the parking lot.
And it was like way after closing too. So
it wasn't during like.
I just thought it was kind of interesting that they still serve alcohol.
Now, Splash Country is 35 acres, just under 20 attractions.
It's a little smaller.
It is open through September 5th, and I do believe that Dollywood Splash Country, if it rains, you can get a rain check to come back.
Yeah, and that you can partner with the Dollywood Season Pass as well, so you can get best of both worlds. And they do have a fantastic rain check policy. Like, even with Dollywood, I mean, if it rains, like drizzles, like even the littlest bit, and you can still do the park, you think, but, maybe you don't want to, go check out the rain check thing. Like, they will honor it. Like, they are a fantastic service.
And Dollywood Splash Country also has cabanas available.
Yep.
They have tons of areas for the kids. They have lazy rivers.
Like anything you would expect from, like, a water park, really.
It's a little smaller, and I kind of like that one, but I still haven't been to Smoky Mountain, so I can't compare the two.
True. Very true. Okay. Waterfalls. That's another big one.
Waterfalls. There's so many waterfalls. I mean, you'll probably never check out all the waterfalls.
You should see our list. Like, our list of waterfalls, just like we think we start checking things off and making a dent, but then we find new ones. And
then, like, I'll find ones in, like, Georgia that I'm like, oh, my God, that one looks amazing. But for the ones here, hiking in the Smokies, you have hundreds throughout Tennessee. Ozone is an easy hike.
Very easy. That's one of the most visited by us, just because it's easy on the way to Nashville.
Tons of small ones along the Little River in the Smokies. Fall Creek Falls is a great fall to go to. Piney Falls.
Rock Island, Stinging Fork, that's one of our favorites because it has that water slide, a good swimming hole.
That's a great one. Greeter
Falls we haven't been to. Lost Creek Falls and Virgin Falls were those ones that we last went to.
Yeah.
Like, the list goes on. There's so many. Like you said, hiking in the Smokies, you just go up into the Smokies and you find the river that's going through and just follow it along, look on the map, there's going to be a waterfall.
And even if you hike to you find a waterfall in the Smokies and you hike to it, there more than likely there's going to be another one on that same path that you can hike up to and see.
Yeah, like you can go to the Townsend Y. It's a great swimming spot. People love to swim around.
People are always up there.
The Sinks, Abrams Falls. Do not swim at Abrams Falls. That is a very dangerous fall, very bad undercurrent. There have been multiple deaths there. Do not swim at Abrams.
Tells you not to swim there.
No matter how appealing it looks, do not swim at Abrams. Laurel Falls. I mean, it's endless. Like, there are so many waterfalls.
There's tons.
Just tons.
But if you are going to swim, please be mindful of the waterfalls. They do get bad undertows.
Yeah, and whatever your ability is. Like, don't overestimate your capabilities and stuff. Like, because this is a lot of water rushing that's coming down fast. I didn't even think Bald River Falls.
Yeah.
That's a huge fall. And I would never even get in the water there. Like, I wouldn't even try it. And
if you're going to go in the water at these places, I would probably take some water shoes.
Yes, water shoes are a must.
And a towel if you're wearing hiking shoes to dry your feet off before you hike back out so you don't get blisters.
Yep, that's a good point.
But you probably want to wear on a lot of these decent hiking shoes just so you don't roll your ankle.
Yeah, a lot of them have
or slip.
Pretty aggressive trails to get back to, ups and downs or up and down. And, more often than not, we see families going and the kids are in like Crocs or slippers and like they're dragging the kids along because, oh, it'll be fun. Come on. Like, make sure everybody's properly fitted in attire and shoes because also you don't know when that weather's going to change.
But also check on Google Maps or on Google what the level of like strenuous is, I guess.
Yeah, like what the terrain is. Like,
to make sure it's something that you can do before you start out. And make sure you take plenty of water. More often than not, we see people...
This is a whole podcast
with no water.
This is a good podcast we'll have. We'll go into like backpack and hiking.
I mean, we've hiked not just here, but like we've seen it in other places we've hiked.
Yeah,
where people are not prepared.
And Mother Nature will whoop you, unfortunately.
So.
What else?
Well, we'll move on to river rafting and tubing.
Good times. My favorite.
So you do have river tubing towards Townsend. They do have two options to go on. The lower one, which if you have kids that are under a certain age, I think you have to go on like the lower one. Then there's the upper one that's a little bit more... It's
A and B. I don't remember which is assigned to... I think A is the upper, B is the lower.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
But you gotta take your kids on B. And if you're going to go on B, be prepared. Be prepared. Because it's going to take you 2 hours.
My parents just went and they said it took 2 hours.
It all depends on the river flow. It all depends on how many people are there. It takes a while. And there are some areas where it definitely gets shallow. And if the river's not flowing, you do have to get up and kind of walk a little bit. But upper section, you do have a lot of fun on. So if you are an adult, older kids.
That is probably where you want to be.
That's where you want to be.
And River Rat does have shuttles that will take you back up from where you get out of the water so you can go back up. And
you make a full day out of it.
You can do it multiple times.
Yeah.
And they have a picnic area, and I'm pretty sure they have, like, lockers and, like,
well, and they have the burger place now that's right there. The burger place that I've heard great things about.
There's tons of... You could make it a whole day. You could river raft all day long.
And, I mean, we've done it, and it's been pouring rain.
Like, yeah, you can river raft in the rain.
Made it kind of fun. Now, there are other companies. River Rat just kind of stands out. They are the biggest one. But they do have a great process. They do have great service. It's affordable. It's $20 for adults, $15 for kids. You can even take your dog now for $16. So if your dog wants to cruise down the river, Macy has ADD. So 2 hours, I don't think
it would not be pleasant.
No.
Let's just put it that way.
She'd love going, but I don't know. Your dog's got to be very patient and just...
Matt would be chasing her, or she would be drowning because he would probably be trying to pull her back with her leash.
I wouldn't enjoy it.
She would be swimming and it would just smell.
Squirrel, fish, all that stuff. So it wouldn't be worth it.
Or she would want to get in someone's lap and then into someone else's because she just wants to be pet.
No, they do have cabanas there. Do you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
So you can rent cabanas kind of along the river. So it's kind of cool. Like maybe you have some older folks or someone that maybe isn't as mobile and can't go do the tubing and floating. It's more floating. Like, I don't want this to come across as like river rafting.
It's not like white water rafting. It is like relaxed floating down the river.
Of course, you do have a little bit of like action, but you can avoid it.
It's not crazy action.
But the lower part is definitely just floating in the tube.
But they do have a campground right there.
Yeah, they do have campgrounds, but the cabanas are great. So if someone wants to sit there and watch and kind of hang out on the side while you guys do your thing and they just want to hang out and be in a beautiful area with beautiful scenery and landscape, it's perfect.
You also can they have like sticks that you can buy to push yourself along. So if you can't get out of the water or out of your raft, I guess you can use the sticks.
It's a gimmick.
It is a gimmick.
Personal opinion. But they do have season passes too. I forgot about
I
that.
didn't know
So
that.
if you want to go for the entire year, little season, you can go. So that's kind of cool. Now, real river rafting, like rapids. It's a blast.
This is a little more intense or exhilarating. I
Down
guess.
on the Ocoee River. This is down south, more by Chattanooga, Cleveland area. We've gone through high country adventures. Someone on here, Tracy, she had told me about this. There was a Groupon for it. She's like, check out the Groupon. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, check it out. It was for 6. I was like, why not? Let's go.
We bought actually 2 of these because I think we took
Because we took the
friends.
Halcombs, right? Yeah. It was a blast. The kids loved it. Mackenzie doesn't like to get her hair wet, so she was a brat on it.
I mean, she had a great time.
She had a fun time, but all the other kids, and once the guide knew that she didn't want to get her hair wet, it was fun.
He got her wet.
Fantastic guides. They really know what they're doing. They make it entertaining. They make it fun. They make you want to come back. There are multiple outfits down there that will take you river rafting. High country is what we happen to do, and we fell in love. The Halcombs just went.
It's phenomenal.
It's a blast. And so it was an Olympic river. The Ocoee, the upper section was used in the Olympics in 1996. So it's an intense rapid section. Now you get down to the middle section where most of us will go. That's one we did, was the middle section.
I want to do the upper one next time.
It's still good rapids. Like, there are some good levels to it. And I mean, you probably have good dozen or so like little portions that you go through, and it's fun.
And you can fall out. Our friend did fall out.
You will fall out.
But they will teach you, if you do fall out, what to do so they can rescue you. And she got rescued in like a whole 2 seconds. And she
now
was
I'm gonna
like
take that
laughing.
back. I said you will fall out. There's a chance you can fall out if you don't listen. So this becomes listening, which is very hard for a lot of people, but it's very clear directions that they'll give you. They'll tell you to paddle. They'll tell you down. They'll tell you, lean everybody inside. You follow these commands for a reason, and when you don't follow the command, when you don't get down or you don't paddle.
But you still could fall out even if you were doing all of that too. It just
there's a
depends on
chance
the
to.
water level.
But most of the time, the people that are flung out are the people that are not paying attention or listening. And it's very clear.
Do this one, you need to wear water shoes.
Water shoes.
They will make you wear water shoes.
Wear a shirt underneath because you're wearing your life jacket and stuff.
Wear something like a
Just be
bathing
comfortable.
suit that you are comfortable in because you are sitting and moving around in the raft a lot. So you don't want something that would
And it's a good couple hours.
irritate you.
It's a good couple hours. Like, if you do the high country, you will meet down below. You take a bus up, then you raft down. Like, it's a good time. It's
And I
a
think
lot of
they
fun.
have, when you get back, they do have somewhere where you can get food back at High Country's facility.
And they have people all along the course taking photos. We did buy the photos. They were fantastic.
Great photos.
They were awesome photos. I mean, there was probably 100 photos.
They have a gift shop, and the photos were reasonably priced.
I think it was. I don't remember what it was. I want to say it was like $40 or something. We ended up splitting it with another guy that was in a raft.
Yeah.
So it worked out all right. But the kids loved it. The kids loved the photos. Like, it was a good time.
So if you do have a group of 6 people, you will all be in one raft. If there's like 4 of you, they will add 2 more people into the raft.
Which takes me to the pricing really quick. So for a single person, like if you go on the website, it's $30 to $50 somewhere, depending on when you're going to go. Weekday, weekend, what time.
And it
all
probably
that stuff.
depends on the time of the year.
So they do have Groupons, though. Groupons will save you about 50% on those prices, on the singles and on the 6-pack. The 6-pack was only $160 for all 6 of us to go.
I think we just added 2 people on because there was only 8 of us.
Yeah, so you just tell them, hey, we have a Groupon 6-pack. We just need to add 2 people on. They adjust pricing and stuff. They're fantastic to work with, but $160 for 6 people to go.
It wasn't bad.
Have an adventure and have fun. Like, it was a blast, and it is worth it.
I mean, I don't know where you're going to do something that, like, thrill-seeking for that cheap of a price for 6 people.
And it's not even like, I know people hear it and they're like, oh my gosh, river rafting, there's no way, that's dangerous. And like, it was fun. Like, it's exciting. It's adrenaline, but I didn't feel
unsafe.
I didn't feel unsafe at all.
They
Like,
will make you wear helmets because obviously there
Yeah.
are rocks, and if you do fall out, they want you to have your head protected in case you did hit a rock.
And they go through a whole safety thing beforehand, telling you, you know, what happens if you do fall out, what to do. And they are very quick, like she said, if you do fall out. They're very observant, you know, they let the other rafts know, other guides know. So there's always eyes on the water and people to help out. So
even if your guide in your boat was too far past you, the next boat behind you, they will get you. It's not like they're just going to leave you in the water floating down river.
So I don't want anyone to be intimidated by it, thinking like they can't do it because it's going to be too much or it's, you know, dangerous. Like, but it is fun.
It is really fun.
It is fun. And you do have to have a little bit of upper. Like, you know, you do have to work a little bit. It's a workout, but it's not something that's like make or break. Like, you have to be this strong person. Like, the kids do just fine. So everybody's got to pull their own weight on it because you're a team rafting. And,
you don't want to get a raft where one person is just half.
No. Make sure you have a good raft. Make sure you have a good raft. And if you're going like 2 or 3 people, you know, just a small group, start eyeing those people, you know, look at them.
Be like,
you can tell.
In their group right
you can tell a person that's there to have an adventure and put in some work.
I mean, when we went, we saw people who were like, we don't know if they're going to have an adventure.
Like if the dad has like a goofy hat on, like no offense to the Disney fanatics, but he had the goofy hat on and like.
You probably don't want to be in his boat.
You know, yeah. You want people that look like they're ready to adventure.
I mean, we had a good group of people.
We had a fantastic group. It was so fun.
And our guide was awesome. I mean, he like would surf the waves in the boat.
It was so fun. Like he did so much like
I don't even know.
Off the path stuff. So it was cool though. There's a vlog if you go back to last year, you'll find it. But it's a good time.
It was a great time.
So that is it for that one. We just thought we'd kind of go over some things to beat the heat and cool off in Tennessee. Those are just some of our favorites. There's plenty of other stuff we could do. I know. There's
but
people that are always say,
things
what
that
about
we,
blah, blah, blah.
But these are all things that we do. We try to talk about things that we actually do because we can talk about them. We can't talk about something that we've never actually done.
I'm not going to tell you about wilderness at the Smokies, which is like a Great Wolf Lodge. We've never been. And with the indoor water park, it looks fun. Never been, though. I can't talk about it. Can't talk about Opryland. They have a great indoor water park. Never been, though. Only been on the outside looking in. Looks like fun, but I don't know.
We talk about stuff we didn't do, and it would be pointless because we don't have experience with going there, and we don't really want to sound kind of goofy talking about something we don't know about.
We want to give you firsthand experience. So
one day we'll adventure out to every single thing. There's just so much to do.
Really? You think we're going to do that?
Maybe.
I don't think that can be done.
Well, we could try.
Well, and that's why we're doing these, to try to pass them along, to pass these on to somebody that may not know about it or may need something new.
But if you guys have somewhere that you've explored and you think would be great for us to do,
let us know.
Send us a message.
I have no problem going and trying to find a way to do a video there or something and just explore it and have fun.
There's just so many things to do in this great state that I don't know if we'll ever do everything that we want to on our list.
There's not a possible way. And that was funny. Like in California, it's like you kind of got over everything because you were kind of doing all the stuff. And then stuff would kind of fade out because, like we just saw, Knott's Berry Farm is not Knott's Berry Farm anymore. It's Knott's Ghetto Farm, I guess.
But also, I mean, we did have, waterfalls in California. But, I mean, we didn't really have... Okay,
was there water falling?
They were trickle falls because there was no water half the time. But I'm saying if there was water, there may be a waterfall, I guess.
Anyways, that is it for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed that one. Give us a like, a comment. Please give us a review. The reviews are what we need to keep this thing going and to keep boosting us up. So we appreciate y'all as always. TennesseeTuesdays.com and all the social handles.
Have a fabulous Tuesday night, guys.
Enjoy your week. That's it from Tennessee, East Tennessee, y'all.